Is Professor Peter Mathews, Political Science of Cyprus College in LA. Good afternoon to you, Professor.
Good afternoon, Janie.
So it is the Memorial Long Weekend. It's safe to go to beaches and barbecues, but it's going to cost a lot. Gas prices skyrocketing to their highest in 7 years.
Yeah, the gas prices have gone up because of demand, but more importantly, we have to worry about a resurgence of the virus, maybe the variants. You spoke of one in Vietnam now, and then in Britain, they're having the problem with the Indian variant, or the one that came from India originally. And that's so dangerous because the schools in Britain were open and the Prime Minister was going to lift the mask mandate in school. This is a problem of precipitous reopening. I'm worried about the U.S. this Memorial Day weekend, that this could happen as well, because people have to be extremely cautious about the variants that are coming. It's still around with us. They're not gone yet. Only over half the population is not yet vaccinated. That's not the problem.
We're hearing also, Professor, a lot of incentives to get the COVID shot. People winning millions of dollars in lotteries. They're calling it Vax-a-million. We're also seeing the vaccination rates jump in these areas up by around 45%. Do you think, well, it sounds like it's working. Do you think we need more of this?
I say use whatever works, because this is so important that people get vaccinated. And it's working wonderfully. Look at Ohio. They had, $1 million lottery, and so many people signed up and got the vaccination. And the winner was so jubilant. And there are many other kinds of incentives. Any incentive you can use to get people vaccinated is so important. I think we may want to try it, and I'm not sure if you're doing it in Australia yet or not. You may consider it.
Well, I tell you what, no doubt we might be doing something like that. But let's have a look at the proposed budget plan from Biden. $6 trillion. It still needs to be approved by Congress. What's in it?
A lot of it is really infrastructure and social programs, but also the money he's asked for more money for the military again. You know, about $15 billion more than what President Trump had in the military budget, which I think needs to be pared back a bit and used for infrastructure and for education and healthcare. But I think Biden is doing a pretty balanced approach in what he needs. It's a lot of money, I know. It could even cause a $1.8 trillion deficit. But in the end, I think what's going to happen is when you invest in the country and productivity goes up, then more products are produced and the cost of each one doesn't go up as much or as that much at all. So inflation is kept down, as long as also interest rates are kept to where it helps inflation. There are ways to fight inflation at the same time you invest. And the United States has fallen behind itself and other countries in the world in infrastructural investment. You know, the American Society of Civil Engineers said that we need $2.6 trillion for bringing up the infrastructure to where it should be. And Biden was asking for 2.3. He couldn't even get 1.7 through the Senate. That's a problem right now. So the budget should go well. I'm sure he won't get all of it, but he'll get most of it, I think.
And Congress has until the end of September, I believe, to pass the new spending bills?
Yes, it does. That's the deadline for the next year, yes.
All right. It will be interesting to see what happens between now and then. This week, Professor, the US intelligence agencies spoke about two theories on how COVID originated naturally from human contact with infected animals and a possible lab accident. What are they up to now with this investigation? Well,
what has happened is that President Biden, because he's been pressured to some extent to find out what more the deeper causes of it. Could it be something else? There's been a story in the Wall Street Journal that was actually not disclosed. The source of the document was not disclosed, and the people giving it were anonymous. But the story caught legs in the news terminology, and that was that possibly this could be a lab leak from China. But I don't think the evidence is preponderantly that way. And most scientists are saying it's less than likely that that's what happened. Mostly likely it happened in the wet markets and the transfer of the virus from animals to humans. So we got to also look at one more thing, Janie. If we start attacking China and demanding these kinds of, opening up all their database from November onward to see if it happened in the lab or not, accusing them of things, they may not cooperate at all. And we need their cooperation, the cooperation of all the countries in the world to get to the bottom of how we can fight and kill this virus right now. And we shouldn't go back too far if it will hurt us, but we should also find out the truth. Everyone wants to know what happened. Transparency is important, but to what extent and when you do that is very important as well.
Yeah, good point. And Trump Organization probe, what are the New York authorities actually investigating in this situation?
It's really heated up, which is quite remarkable so quickly. And the New York authorities are considering possibly even using the RICO statute, or what's called Little RICO. RICO stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act back in 1970. It's a federal law that allows the government to prosecute organizations or individuals who own them for several crimes in a row that were committed to enhance the profits of the organization. That could face someone like that who's in charge of the organization or involved with it, could face up to 25 years in prison. This is a very serious type of possible charge that they're investigating. So we'll have to wait and see if the little RICO in New York is going to be applied in the case of Trump's organizations, possible manipulating of data for tax purposes and for income loan purposes, those kinds of things possibly. We don't know yet. We have to wait and see how the investigation plays out.
All right, and on a different note, finally, for your long weekend, Professor, what will you and your family be doing?
We'll probably just end up having my mother-in-law. We're all vaccinated except for the kids, so the kids will wear masks if we just go there for picking up the food. All these holidays we've been picking up the food from my mother-in-law's house and bringing it home and having it here to our immediate family. This time I'm not sure. I think we'll probably do the same thing again. We have to be very cautious about this, Cheney. We don't want the variants to get a hold of our little girl who's only 9 years old and cannot be vaccinated yet, so that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. And you felt okay after your vaccinations. I know we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago.
Yes, I've been having no problem whatsoever with my health at all. It's been great. And I still wear my mask when I'm out in public or in crowds. And when I'm jogging, I take the mask off and make sure I'm not jogging near anyone when I'm on the beach.
Okay, well, you enjoy your weekend. We've got summer coming up in the States, and always a pleasure to speak to you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, Professor Mathews.
Same here. You please enjoy your weekend as well, Jane.
Thank you.